Sufis are lovers of God. This is the fundamental principle behind Sufism, that we love God. We belong to Him and we love Him. And for the Sufi, the spiritual path is a love affair. That's why it is right for some people and not right for others. Because for some people love is too terrifying, it involves too much vulnerability, too much exposure. While for others, this is the wine they need to drink. This is what sends them crazy. This is what intoxicates them. This is what makes life meaningful to them. To taste the wine of the heart's love for God. And Sufism is all about love and how love works within the human being and what love does to the human being. It is the ancient mystery of love. You are a Sufi when your heart is as soft and as warm as wool. The beloved looks into the heart of his servant, and in that moment ignites the spark with the flame of divine love. The Sufi actually says the real process happens in the very center of the heart, in a secret chamber called the Heart of Hearts. And it is here that this love affair takes place, and it slowly begins to seep out from the heart, from deep within the human being, until it affects every moment. Every aspect of your life becomes permeated, becomes infused with this divine love. And this love carries with it the consciousness of remembrance, of remembering God, which for the Sufi, again, is remembering this love affair, remembering that once, long ago, although it is really before time, you were one with God. That you tasted the wine that was made before the creation of the vine, or the sweetness of honey that was before the bee. One Sufi, he says, when love comes, reason disappears. It really functions on a higher vibration. And like a love affair, like a human love affair, it takes hold of you. And it takes you where it wants. That's one of the reasons the Sufis talk a lot about surrender. Because if you want to be taken by love back to God, you have to surrender. You have to give yourself to love. You have to give yourself without thinking about yourself. I have bought God. I have bought God. The bargain was easy. I gave myself completely and got Him completely in return. Spiritual life is like firing arrows in the dark. You can see the bow, you can see the arrow, but you can't see the target. And probably if you saw the target, you wouldn't fire the arrow, because the target is really your own heart. You give yourself to love, to the love that actually is deep within your own heart. You give yourself back to yourself in the most complete and total sense. You surrender yourself to yourself, not to your ego, no, not to your desires, no, but to the deepest need of the soul, to this cry that comes from the depths, the cry of the soul. You say yes to the destiny of your soul, and that is why it takes commitment and courage, because the destiny of the soul is so different to the desires of the ego, and it is totally different to your conditioning, to the beliefs you have been brought up to have, to the values your parents have given you. It takes courage to live in the present. If you love, you love. It is as simple as that. And yet, it is such a difficult thread to follow, this thread of love. It takes you within yourself, deeper than you believe possible. Because what is within a human being is extraordinary. At the beginning, of course, you have to face your own demons, your own darkness. You have to face your own failures, your own regrets. And that is what puts many people off, and that is the way it should be. But if you can go deeper than that, you begin to find the real mystery of being a human being. Be in this world as if you are a traveler, a passerby, because this is not home. Sometimes you sit under the shade of a tree. Sometimes you sit by a lake with your clothes and your shoes full of dust. But you are just a traveler, a passerby. This is not home. Who for some reason carry this distant memory that this is not their real home. And one day they awaken to this homesickness, to this cry of the soul to go home, this ancient cry, this cry that reverberates deep within the human being. And then they don't know why. They turn away from the world and they begin to walk this path that leads somewhere else. Where? It is difficult to describe, because it isn't anywhere else, because it is within them. But let us say it's away from the surface of life, away from what is visible into what is hidden. This great secret of being human. There is a lovely story that the gods decided or thought where to place the secret of being human in this world, the greatest secret. And they spoke about themselves. And one god said, let's put it on top of the mountain, because the human beings will never discover it there. And another god said, no, eventually they will climb to the top of the mountain and they will discover it. So another god said, well, let's hide it in the depths of the forest, they will never find it there. But somebody else said, no, eventually they will. And so they thought and discussed until finally one of the gods said, let's place the deepest secret within their own hearts. They will never discover it there. And they did. And that is why spiritual life is so simple and so difficult. It is so simple because you don't go anywhere except within yourself. You go back and back and back, deeper and deeper, uncovering and uncovering, like they say, the layers of the onion. You go deeper and deeper within yourself. And it is so difficult because it involves this vulnerability, this pain of love. that there was a time before the creation of the world when God spoke to the not yet created humanity, and he said, "Am I not your Lord?" And the not yet created humanity responded and said, "Yes, we witness it." The soul, before it came into existence, said to God, "We witness that you are Lord." And there are some souls that when they are born into this world, they have to consciously fulfill this duty. They have to consciously remember God and praise Him and witness that He is God. Each leaf and flower does say, "I am." Everything, every atom praises God. If it didn't, the whole world would disintegrate. And many people have had experiences of this, have had mystical experiences of seeing how every atom in creation praises God, how everything loves Him. So everything, every human being loves God. Every human being is God loving Himself. But not every human being knows it. The wound is often the entrance to the underworld, the entrance to the depths within ourselves. If we can go underneath the anger and underneath the pain, then we discover what is hidden there, which is often infinitely precious. One Sufi, he said, "Between you and me," he is referring to himself and to God, "there lingers an it is I. O God, through thy mercy take this it is I from between us both." When you are lost somewhere, you go beyond yourself. But what happens there on the physical plane? For the mystic begins to take place within the heart. And in order for this mystery to take place, this union of lover and beloved, the obstacle has to be removed. And the obstacle is the I. Take one step away from yourself and behold the path. Then there is just this bliss upon bliss upon bliss upon bliss. And the only thing you think is, why me? Why am I given so much? Because you know you don't deserve it. Different degrees of domination and servitude are what you know as love. But love is different. It arrives complete just there like the moon at the window. Seek only that of which you have no clue. Step out of the circle of time and into the circle of love. This is not the Oxus River or some little creek. This is the shoreless sea. Here swimming ends always in drowning.
چشمم را کند جیهون چو این تبدیل ها آمد، نه همون ماند و نه دریا. چه دانم من دگر چون شد که چون غرق است، که چون غرق است در بیچون. چه ظالم‌های بسیار است، که دانم های بسیار است لیکن من نمیدانم که خوردم از دهان بندی در این دریا، در این دریا کفی افیون.
Allah feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, yeah. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, yeah. And I'm feeling good. And I'm feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean, don't you know? Butterflies all having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when day is done, that's what I mean. And this old world is a new world, and a bold world for me. Stars, when you shine, you know how I feel. Scent of the pine, you know how I feel. Oh, freedom is mine, and I know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. Yes, it's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. And I'm